In the previous audiopod, we tried to understand how our subconscious mind works, how powerful suggestion to our mind is, since subconscious cannot reason like our conscious mind. So in today's audiopod, we will try to understand why we get different reactions to the same suggestion. Yes, it is true that different people will react in different ways to the same suggestion because of their subconscious conditioning or belief. For example, if you go to a sailor on the ship and say to him sympathetically, "My dear fellow, you are looking very ill. Aren't you feeling sick? You look to me as if you are going to be seasick." According to his temperament, he either laughs at your joke or expresses a mild irritation. Your suggestion fell on deaf ears in this instance because your suggestion of seasickness was associated in his mind with his own immunity from it. Therefore, it called up not fear or worry, but self-confidence. If we define suggestion from a dictionary, it is defined as the act or the instance of putting something into one's mind, the mental process by which the thought or idea suggested is entertained, accepted, or put into effect. You must remember that a suggestion cannot impose something on the subconscious mind against the will of conscious mind. In other words, your conscious mind has the power to reject the suggestion given. In the case of the sailor, he had not fear of seasickness. He had convinced himself of his immunity, and the negative suggestion had absolutely no power to evoke fear. The suggestion of seasickness to the other passenger called forth his indwelling fear of seasickness. Each of us has his own inner fears, beliefs, and opinions. These inner assumptions rule and govern our lives. A suggestion has no power in and of itself except it is accepted mentally by you. This causes your subconscious powers to flow in a limited and restricted way according to the nature of the suggestion. Let us understand this more clearly by a short story discussed by Dr. Joseph Murphy. The director of one of his forums, founded a number of years ago, told him about an article appeared in the English newspaper. This is a suggestion a man gave to his subconscious mind over a period of about 2 years. "I would give my right arm to see my daughter cured." It appeared that his daughter had a crippling form of arthritis together with a so-called incurable form of skin disease. Medical treatment had failed to alleviate the condition, and the father had an intense longing for his daughter's healing and expressed his desire in the words just quoted. Dr. Evelyn Fleet said that the newspaper article pointed out that one day the family was out riding when their car collided with another. The father's right arm was torn off at the shoulder, and immediately the daughter's arthritis and skin condition vanished. You must make certain to give your subconscious only suggestions which heal, bless, elevate, and inspire you in all ways. Remember that your subconscious mind cannot take a joke. It takes you at your word. Here is another illustration of autosuggestion. Autosuggestion means suggesting something definite and specific to oneself. Autosuggestion may be used to banish various fears and other negative conditions. A young singer was invited to give an audition. She had been looking forward to the interview, but on 3 previous occasions she had failed miserably due to the fear of failure. This young lady had a very good voice, but she had been saying to herself, "When the time comes for me to sing, maybe they won't like me. I will try, but I'm full of fear and anxiety." Her subconscious mind accepted these negative autosuggestions as a request and proceeded to manifest them and bring them into her experience. The cause was an involuntary autosuggestion. that is silent fear, thoughts emotionalized with subjectified. She overcame it by the following technique. 3 times a day, she isolated herself in a room. She sat down comfortably in an armchair, relaxed her body, and closed her eyes. She stilled her mind and body as best she could. Physical inertia favors mental passivity and renders the mind more receptive to the suggestion. She counteracted the fear suggestion by saying to herself, I sing beautifully, I am poised, serene, confident, and calm. She repeated this statement slowly, quietly, and with feeling from 5 to 10 times at each sitting. She had 3 such sittings every day and 1 immediately prior to sleep. At the end of a week, she was completely poised and confident. When the invitation to audition came, she gave a remarkable, wonderful audition, and this is how she conquered her fear. To understand the constructive and destructive power of suggestion, we need to understand what is heterosuggestion. Heterosuggestion means suggestions from another person. In all ages, the power of suggestion has played a part in the life and in every period of time and in each country of the earth. In many parts of the world, it is the controlling power in religion. Suggestion may be used to discipline and control ourselves, but it can also be used to take control and command over others who do not know the laws of mind. It is constructive form and it's wonderful and magnificent. In its negative aspect, it is one of the most destructive of all the response patterns of the mind, resulting in patterns of misery, failure, suffering, sickness, and disaster. From infancy on, the majority of us have been given many negative suggestions, not knowing how to thought on them. We unconsciously accepted them. Here are some of the negative suggestions. You can't. You'll never amount to anything. You must not. You'll fail. You haven't got a chance. You're all wrong. It's of no use. It's not what you know. It's no use trying so hard. You are too old now. Things are getting worse and worse. Life is an endless grind. Love is for the birds. You just can't win. Watch out. You'll get the virus. You can't trust a soul, etc., etc. Unless as an adult you use constructive autosuggestion, which is reconditioning therapy. The impressions made on you in the past can cause behavior patterns that cause failure in your personal and social life. Autosuggestion is a means releasing you from the mass of negative verbal conditioning that might otherwise distort your life pattern, making the development of good habits difficult. So, how you can counteract negative suggestions? Pick up the paper any day and you can read dozens of items that could sow the seeds of futility, fear, worry, and impending doom. If accepted by you, these thoughts of fear could cause you to lose the will for life. Knowing that you can reject all these negative suggestions by giving your subconscious mind constructive autosuggestions, you counteract all these destructive ideas. Check regularly on the negative autosuggestions that people make to you. You do not have to be influenced by destructive heterosuggestion. All of us have suffered from it in our childhood and in our teens. If you look back, you can easily recall how parents, friends, relatives, teachers, and associates contributed in a campaign of negative suggestions. Study the things said to you and you will discover much of it was in the form of propaganda. The purpose of much of what was said was to control you or instill fear into you. This heterosuggestion process goes on in every home, office, factory, and club. You will find that many of these suggestions are for the purpose of making you think, feel, and act as others want you to, and in ways that are to their advantage. The suggestions of others in themselves have absolutely no power whatever over you except the power that you give them through your own thoughts. You have to give your mental consent, you have to entertain the thought. Then it becomes your thought and you do the thinking. Remember, you have the capacity to choose. Choose life, choose love, choose health, and choose abundance. With lots of power and positivity to your subconscious mind, we end today's audiopod with a positive note to ourselves. So please close your eyes and repeat after me. I have the power to change my destiny, to bring good health and prosperity to myself. There will be much more knowledge coming through these audiopods, so keep listening, enhancing your hearing capacity, and one day you'll be completely a different person. With this note, we end today's audiopod. Have a good day ahead.